Hello, everyone. Hopefully you are able to hear me and everything's well wherever you are this amazing Christmas week. Um, family celebrations and everything. And, we get to spend time with our loved ones. We get to, I guess, miss and acknowledge our ones that we've lost this this particular time of the year each year, which is kind of like the saddest time for families. So I don't want to, I just want to acknowledge that Christmas isn't always a fun time for families, depending on what their situation is. Such as yeah, not being able to afford presents and stuff, or getting kids what they want. And the worst kind of thing is like having kids that you've spoiled so much that they don't appreciate what you've done for them and or what you give them. And I think one of the greatest things for our family has been that we've learned to teach our kids and our family members, and I do it by the way I operate, which is like, I don't care what you buy me as long as I like it. I don't care if you spent $1 on it or if it's secondhand. That's how I kind of like let my family know. I don't need you to spend $100 on an item that I like. I don't care if you buy it on sale. I don't care. As long as it's what I love, which is pop culture. As long as I love that, and if you found it on a hunt and like a secondhand store or op shop or whatever, or if you traded somebody for it, tell me that story. And don't and tell me how much you paid for it, because I want to be able to appreciate that. So yeah, so for all my friends out here in the collector world, and in comics and toys and entertainment, DVDs, all that stuff that I'm into, uh, retro stuff, all that. This year's been a really good year for me. I've been able to settle one or two things in the way of like ticking off that little box. Last year I settled the CGC dilemma. Getting an X-Men 25 or something like that as 8.9 or something CGC. At least I think that's what it was. I can't remember. It's sitting somewhere around, right, packed away. But the other thing I was able to settle in the last month or so was this, and that is that I was able to, get this Mojo from 2006 completed. This is from the Century, if I remember right. The Century, it's an Iron Man Mojo, Iron Man series, Mojo series, right? That's from this thing here that you saw this in, right? Mark One, that Iron Man. So I was able to finally get the piece that I needed, and after and the other pieces, right? There's like, I think it was about 4 pieces I needed to complete this or something, or 3 pieces, and I was finally able to do that. So I'm quite grateful for everyone who helped me do that. It was a bit of a chore. I had to. There's you saw might have seen the photos, but there was a connector piece here that didn't want to come off, and that had already been attached. Sadly, but no fault of the collector. Because it's just the way things are, right? You can't fight the system, as they say. Sometimes you just can't fight the joints, and you got to cut it out, dig it out, drill it out, which I did. I did everything. I sawed it, I cut it, broke a knife over it. I then used a Dremel, and then I used the needle nose pliers and picked all the bits out, and so I could have that thing. So today, I'm just going to do a lot of let me just excuse me. I'm going to talk a bit about some news, and then I'm also going to talk about just opening a whole bunch of stuff, because I've been wanting to open this for so long, because I've been waiting for my partner, Stuart, Big Stu over in the US in Texas with his store to come on and help me unbox this thing. But he's got and it's Christmas time, right? So you got to understand, it's Christmas. If you're a store owner, it's not easy. And then last week he had his birthday, so happy birthday there. And so I'm a solo on this one, but next year we're all good. We're going to be get back into it in probably middle of the year. Now let's start with with a box unboxing, right? Because I've been wanting to do this for friggin' so long. But the weird thing is, I think, you know, it tells, these are dioramas, right? Which is the cool thing, right? So you can see here that there's a diorama. So if you box, you know, if you open them, they have dioramas. And this is, of course, Black Widow. But if you notice, which I only just noticed, and I hadn't thought about it because it looks like it's part of the background, is this Ant-Man, little tiny Ant-Man, which I don't think I have an Ant-Man, right? So this is pretty cool. The other thing is, I've got these here, which I was able to buy for $9 each. This is how bad this is. And it's only, you know, it's not even been like 6 months since it's been out. Like, not bad. I mean, like in the movie that people, you know, I know that some friends of mine loved it. You know, they love you know, D&D and stuff. That they were really cool into it. So the one that I wanted was oh, and I forgot her name. You know, the female, right? Michelle Rodriguez, right? I wanted that one, but it was like twice the price. It's special, so it was only half the price. But so this was 50% off, but it wasn't actually, because before I went in, I found that online that it was like, you know, it's a franchise store, so I could see that it was like $9. So I was like, so I went up and said, oh, how much is this one? It's you know, $24.95 for Michelle, and I'm like, wait, dang, I'm sure these were $9. So I went and grabbed the other ones, came back, oh, it's only these ones. I'm like, it kind of always sucks when they do that. Like, you know, they know which character is popular, so they want to keep the price on there to make up, you know, any losses on these ones that nobody wants, right? So let's do an unboxing. You know, this is the whole Hasbro thing of like hiding what's inside because we're not doing plastics anymore and stuff. But here's the problem: a lot of these have been taken home and then returned without, you know, like you'd get the Michelle one, you take the Michelle one home and you put, you know, you kind of like put it back inside this. I put one of these inside the Michelle one and keep the Michelle one and take the box back and go, oh, this, I don't want the Michelle one, or it's got something else inside it, you know, and you pretend like that. And there's other people have reported about this, you know. I think I can't remember the gentleman's name, but it's I follow him. He's a, you know, it's a really cool guy to check out. But I can't remember his name right now, so apologies for that, sir. But he talks about that a lot on his channel, and you know, because I haven't here in New Zealand, I haven't run across that. I haven't run across myself personally, right? So I can't say, yeah, it happened to me, or it's happening in New Zealand. I can't say that unless somebody tells me, hey, yeah, no, it's happening here as well, where people are doing that silly thing. But here's the thing, right? There are not that many nefarious individuals in the scene here in New Zealand, right? We're basically a small country, so we're always trying to hide, you know, not hide, trying to look out for each other. It's not often that we have people cheating and stuff. So look at this. So here's the thing, right? Look at all the space used, right? Let me just pop that off there for the time being. So look at all the space used, right? And you can see here, right, all this emptiness, but it's only these two little figures. So you could actually, if you wanted, all right, if you wanted, box it that much and it'll be only this small. Now, that would mean, and you'd save, right? Because these guys are about protecting the environment. So you would then save by then only having half a box. But the problem with that is it's all about displaying, right? Now the Titan 12-inch figures work because they're quite large and you can display them at that wide and people can say, oh yeah, it makes an impact or not. But if you have a box like this and you're only showing half the box, it doesn't really do that much, you know, impact. Like it. Oh, one of them wanted to go for a swim in my coffee. All right, so here's what I mean. Like, so if you had a box like that, so you see how that is. So you'd only get to impact that, and it looks really tiny. It doesn't make it impactful, you know, in the sense of as a product. And so, you know, they better not put that too close to that book. It was soaked into the coffee will soak into the pages. Now, so I mean, they're easy to move out, right? You just flip it out like that. There's no plastic ties or anything. They come in these paper bags, you know, all good for the environment. No problem. I don't have a problem with that. But all I'm saying is that if it's only that big, then why not only use that much, right? See what I mean? Yeah. So if it's only going to be this big out here, why are you not using it only that amount of paper? Because you're saying you're concerned with the environment. So it's not really so much about the environment. It's so much about keeping costs down, because an extra piece of plastic is a bit of money, right? Any piece of plastic is going to be a bit of money. So now, this is Chris Evans. It's not Evans, is it? It's Chris Evans is Captain America, and this is the guy that was on if I remember right, this was a guy who played Star Trek, right? He was Captain Kirk on Star Trek. So, but the other thing about this is that there's no smell to it. There's no plastic or rubber smell to it, because it's all gone out of the paper. So because it's like when you have a plastic, right, it holds the smell, right? Which, you know, some people don't like. I kind of like it because it just means that it's out of the factory. It's like opening a comic book for the first time, or a novel for the first time, or you know, a old novel for the first time, right? And you can go, oh man, all the hands and all that has been through, and people that have enjoyed it, you know, and loved it, and so on over the years. So now let's see if I can open this. Should keep a tissue, you know, paper towel or something around here, or a cloth, because this is soaked. All right, so let's have a look. Okay, so this is his, I don't know what they call this, but that's it. So how is he supposed to wear this thing? All right, oh, it's over his whole shoulder. And there's supposed to be knives in this? Oh, yep, there's a knife. Right, so there's a knife. Wait. Wait. Oh, yeah, phew. I was like thinking, wait, where's this knife? So, whatever this is, I'm not sure what this is supposed to be, but he does have a knife there, right? He does have a knife there. So, let's not drop that in the thing. So, yeah, so the blade comes out, all good. All right, so it's all there. Like, so I'm saying, like, you know, almost there. I was like, okay, that could be like weird that, like, you know, it's missing, but no, it's there. Oh, okay. So the other thing about here is that the scabbard for the knife, I'm not sure if you can see that, but it's got a slit on it, so you can see there. All right, so which is kind of a weird design, because it means that it could just pop out. Maybe that's the whole point of it, that it can pop out. But look, see that? Oh no, you're not able to really. Yeah, there. See how it's popping out like that? Yeah. So that's that situation there. So you don't know if it's going to like fall out, and you know, might as well keep it in there. But I mean, I'm not sure if it's going to fall out and then also it'll get lost, right? But the thing with this is I have no idea what that is. It's part of it, but I know what this is, right? So it's guitar or whatever in that world. But here you go. All right, those are the things that you can. Come on, focus. There you go. Yeah, so it's kind of weird, because because of the slit in the scabbard, the knife would just fall out. You know, his dagger. Now let's see how is this going to go. because it is over that shoulder. Let's see if we can get him in. Oh, yep, fitted fine. There we go. So he was all good. Because I like to keep these items with them, but I mean, let's see if whatever this is, it's supposed to be in his hand, and if it's in his hand, then how does it fit? And like I said, I saw a bit of the movie, I should say, but it didn't. I kind of got bored. So, I just don't like people getting torn down. Like being, kind of like put down and stuff. It's just not my thing. I used to happened to me a lot as a kid, and I don't like that. Seeing that happen to other characters, even if it's, if it's a little bit, it's fine for jest and all that. But then if it's continued, I don't like it. It kind of feels like bullying, and that's not my thing. He stands upright. I was just going to say, it would be nice if I had some stand with it, but it stands all right. But I've decided that I'm going to start buying stands for my, not particularly this one, but like the clear ones that they have for anime. Try to buy stands for all my figures, so that way I'm sure they'll look really great when they're standing up. Like this one here, right? Angel looks amazing standing up. This is one of the ones I got this week, and it was free, out of box. Free flow, whatever they call it. And so that's pretty cool. I get to display him, and I'm going to, try some other ways of displaying him, hopefully flying. But we'll figure it out. I might actually, look at taking a like a lighter to this to bend it over so that he can actually, do it like a flying pose like that. It would be awesome. But yeah, I think that's something that's, if you're looking to display your, your figures, it's a good way to, get something to display them the best way, because you want them to be a showcase. The problem with me is I have so many that I have freaking boxes here, like, right? I had to buy another 2 lots of 3 friggin' containers, and straight away they're all full, right? And then on this side is full. So one half of my apartment is just toys, right? And comics and some storage stuff for some stuff being stored as part of our convention. But it's floor to ceiling toys, and it's crazy. And I've been kind of like going, maybe next year I'll slow down, because it's just getting to a point where there's too much, right? Too much. And, everybody's been telling me, yeah, it's, you should like maybe slow down, but it's kind of like, it's kind of like the part of what we're doing, right? So I think, you can only slow down so much. So that was there. Chris Payne. Yeah, I can't remember, right? The actor's name, right? So, actually, what I'll do is I'll look up IMDb, and then we'll look at some other stuff. Let's have a look. Because I want to talk about Steve Ditko, the creator of Spider-Man, right? And a lot of people falsely think it's Stan Lee that created Spider-Man, but it was actually, originally created by. It's weird. You'd think that would come up. Right, that's Chris Pine. Yeah, so that's Chris Pine, right? And I've got him to hold this, whatever this thing is in his hand. So, all good. And like I said, he stands up fine on his own, right there. But the other thing I want to look at is, let's have a look at the Steve Ditko thing, right? Right, so Steve Ditko, right? Let's bring this up. This is the latest news. I only just saw it, and thanks to John Delaros from his channel, he mentioned it. And so I'm going to bring this up and let's talk about this, because I thought it was quite interesting. Because this is something like creator right is something I'm very what shall I say? Well, I'm pro, right? Like, it's good to, if you create something, you're owed the dues, right? And it's important that you recognize that's your thing. So let's have a look at this. Of course, a couple of years ago, they settled the Simon and Schuster family, Siegel and Schuster family settled this Superman thing, and I'm a huge Superman fan, right? I got the coat there and all that, and and also one of the latest ones I bought was this recently from Superman. I keep saying Spider-Man. Oh, it's because of this. All right, and they got their rights back for the family and stuff, because the interesting thing is when they realized a few years ago that the family under the rights of and I had this mentioned, right? So that someone, I think EVS was talking about this, and he was saying like how a couple of years ago when they realized that the Spider-Man rights were coming out, because it's like something about 28 plus 28 years in the US with the copyright laws in 1960s thing, is that that with that, what happens is that after so many years, 56 years, the family gets the rights back. And so Marvel's all was worried, and they started pushing Miles Morales as Spider-Man, right? Because we got to make him the center of our version of this character, right? And so because of that, they were pushing them so hard. So all the movies were coming out, and toys and everything were getting pushed out, because they were worried that they would lose Spider-Man, their top cash cow, right? Because that's who runs and owns, that provides all the income that allows Marvel to do all the silly things they do with all the other characters. Not to mention they've been trying to do the same silliness and ruin, Peter Parker in comics and everything else as well, because they were worried that they would lose the character, right? The copyright to him. So what I want to, let's go over this, right? So there's several, I went over, I did a Google search. There's several people reporting on this because it's big news, right? This is Marvel. Like I said, Spider-Man. But not only that, Doctor Strange. So this is Hollywood Reporter reporting, Marvel settles fight over Spider-Man Doctor Strange rights. The state of Steve Ditko, who co-created, they say here's the thing. All Stan Lee did historically, right, that is known, right, supposedly, is that he just called him Spider-Man, this character. It's Spider-Man. He named it. That's all. However, Steve Ditko is supposed to have drawn everything, right? All the incarnations, how it came about and all that, designs of the character and stuff. And, that's something that I actually had to deal with, talked over with one of my friends. Like, we had a character that I worked on, was the first one that we worked on together, between myself and my friend, right? And I said to him, look, man, how much of the rights you want for this character, right? Because, I created and so on and designed a mask and all this stuff, and it's costume and all this. But I mean, you did decide to look at the character and all that. And he said, no, you came up with it, you so on and so on. And said, okay, cool. That's great. But, that doesn't mean we're part of ways or anything. It just means that's settled, right? And I think this is something, men or women, whatever you're creating, where your artist is, that you really talk things out. And I think it's got to be, you got to have, you got to deal with these things one-to-one, all right? And then if you can't, then you go, well, how do we settle it, right? And I think you just got to, I think a lot of times, you watch these guys here, especially companies, they get all legal and all this. So this is how much time we spent on this. It's like, yeah, but you couldn't have spent any of that time unless I created it, right? unless I came up with it. And I'm talking as a creator, right? You know, and the creator, Steve goes, well, there wouldn't be no Spider-Man without me. Do you see what I'm trying to say? Get it here. So yeah, so instead of Steve Ditko, who created the character, has reached a deal with the company and ended the last of 5 battles over copyright terminations. This came out yesterday, and I think it's, you could say, day before in the US. I don't know, but 8th, right? 8th December. So yesterday for us. It looks like Marvel won't be bringing the battle over the rights to Spider-Man and Doctor Strange into the new year. Attorneys for the company and the state of Steve Ditko on a Wednesday notified the court that they've reached an amicable settlement and expect a stipulation of dismissal with prejudice to be filed in the following weeks. So the lawyers got together and said, all right, this is what we're looking at. Yeah, this is what we want, and this is what they want. What shall we do? And well, going to court could be costly because here's the thing: jury of their peers. See, people are very, corporations might think people like corporations, right? When you watch all these silly, I'm Marvel, I'm DC. The everyday folk doesn't do that. The everyday folk just goes, I like that, I'm gonna buy that. If I don't like it, I'm gonna buy that. They're not super fans. The normies are not super fans. That's why you see a lot of destruction when it comes to Twitter. People going, oh, this, and then and the companies listen to it. Yet the normies are like, that's not what we're into, So then they lose hundreds and millions, and in the case of one of the companies, billions, right, of dollars because they listen to Twitter, right, or social media or Instagram or whatever. But the normies, this is not our pie, right? This is not our cake. We don't want this sort of stuff. We just want what we want, the product. If it's good, we'll take it. If it's bad, we won't, right? We'll leave it on the shelf. And that's what you're seeing here with these things, right? The normies are saying, it doesn't interest me, so nah, not into buying it. So it goes to like from about $50 to a fifth the price at $9, right? So, right, so dismissal with prejudice to be style. So expect a stipulation of dismissal with prejudice. I guess in the sense it's like if it falls apart, they'll be back, right, in the courts. So it's up to Marvel to make sure that they follow through on what they have promised the state of Steve Ditko, which is a family, right? This all started back in 2021 when Marvel filed a series of lawsuits in response to copyright and termination notice from Larry Leiber and the states of Gene Colan, Steve Ditko, Don Hick, and Don Rico. A very long list of characters were at issue, including Iron Man, right, our buddy, Mark 1, right, that's how he looked, right, down to Captain America, he was here somewhere, and then you had Black Widow, of course, here we go, Black Widow, right, Hulk and Thor. However, in June, all but one of the matters were settled, which basically means they basically, said, hey, yeah, your family deserves a better of this because your dad, granddad, whatever, created them, and we're making billions off them, right? Every time it goes out there, we put a product out, it sells hundreds of millions of dollars, right? And comics, T-shirts, bed sheets, school bags, lunch boxes, figures, just to name a few. Stationery, right? Everything you can think of, it's out there of all these characters, right? So the last remaining dispute was with the heirs of Ditko, who co-created Spider-Man. And like I said, the dude drew it. The dude imagined it, came up with the idea and everything, and Stan Lee went and named him Spider-Man. Looks like a spider. Get it? Spider-Man. And and Doctor Strange. According to that termination notice, the state wanted to reclaim rights from comics, including Amazing Spider-Man number 15, which is where they appeared. Thank you, EVS. Including Spider-Man's 1962 debut, right? Amazing Spider-Man number 15. And Strange Tales, I can't remember what issue that was, including Doctor Strange's first appearance in 1963 and Strange Tales, right? In addition to the art and stories themselves, the termination notices also targeted any character, story element on indicia. What does indicia mean? Right? Let's go have a look at this. Formal, right? Indicia, formal. Distinguishing, right? So formal, distinguishing, features, all, formal, what was that again? Distinguishing marks, featuring the reason, distinguishing marks reasonably associated with the works, right? So, such as like, did you use him for Miles Morales and called Miles Morales for Spider-Man? That sort of thing. Like, is there like spiders on that? Any other characters? Maybe, I don't know. I'm not aware, right? So whatever was thing. So Marvel is represented by Dan Petrocelli and Molly Lance of O'Melveny. I guess that's a lawyer. Law. What do they call them? Law branch or whatever. I don't know. And Patrick Ditko was represented by Mark Toberis. Neither party has responded to requests. So there's an NDA, right? Nobody's going to say nothing. We got our cut. That's it. Let's make sure. However, there's stipulations, right? Like I said, and expect a stipulation of dismissal with prejudice to be filed, right? So I guess they'll say in that if they, or if but kind of thing, right? If they decide not to, then off they go. Now, the other report here is also this other one, which actually shows you work, right? Which is kind of better because it shows you some of the art and stuff like that. And this is it here. So this is AIPT. I'm not sure who that is. AIPTcomics.com is reporting this one. So in a bit of good news, it appears Marvel and the Steve Ditko estate have reached an amicable settlement. Same words used, right? Filed multiple blah, blah, blah. Thanks to US copyright law, authors, all their heirs have the ability to gain back copyrights after a certain period of time, right? It doesn't cover works made for hire, which has been, right, here's the other. So this is what the question, the other side of the coin, right? It doesn't cover works made for hire, which has been Marvel's primary argument in these matters, considering how important Ditko was to the creation of so many characters and stories. Hell, he's a Marvel visionary after all, and it's nice to know the matter's settled, right? So you can see, his artwork and stuff, and without that artwork, we would not have, his imagination and stuff, these looks of these characters, and it's just amazing to see his thumbprint all over what we love these days, right? That's come out of Marvel. And of course, like I said yesterday, and I am no longer buying comics, modern comics. Might pick up some, back issues to fill a hole, but that's it. No modern comics for me. Now, the other thing is, I saw something really interesting come up recently, and that has been, let's just find this link. It is Marvel, right? It is Marvel chasing Japan and manga once more. So Marvel, recently they released Suicide Squad Isekai, right? So this is a movie they're releasing. What I say was Marvel. No, DC. My bad. Sorry, guys. I just realized I'm looking at Harley Quinn, and the name's, you know, I'm looking at, right. Suicide Squad, and my brain's going, that's not, you know, that's not Marvel. So yeah, so here we go. So this is from Bounding into Comics, and comes up, right, and it goes, the latest trailer for Suicide Squad Isekai. Right, Isekai is basically traveling to a parallel universe, multiverse. Right, DC already has a multiverse, and so does Marvel, as we all saw. You know, Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness movie, right? So confirms anime's films cast of criminals. So everything about this is so we are competing with Japan now, right? We want that manga dollar, we want that anime following, right? And so they put out a 40-second advert, and where it's got Harley Quinn, Joker, and the Suicide Squad cause havoc in Isekai, and it's got an asterisk, Isekai, to turn for another world in Japanese, right? An all new original anime. Oh, it's an anime series, not just a movie, but a series, right? Yeah, you'll get it if you got it, GNG, right? So yeah, from Warner Brothers. So I'm looking at the IMDb page here, and it's going on about like you know, it's created by Japan, it's in Japanese, it's by Wood Studios, which is a well-known studio, right? And so, you know, it's, you know, these are guys behind Titan, Freyren, who I love, by the way. And like, yeah, I try to put up a video of Freyren, like a clip, a 1-minute clip, and it had copyright. So I've got to figure out how to, you know, I don't want to break copyright. All right. I mean, there's people, you know, there's ways around it where, you know, you just remove all the text. I mean, remove all the language or something, because it kind of picks up on like whatever. But you know, it's a Wit Studios is huge, like Vinland Saga, Spy X Family, Ancient Magus, right? Evangeline, Thrice Upon Us, 3.0 point, 3.0 plus 1.01, right? Ranking of Kings, Cabanare of the Iron Fortress. What do you want to add? This is it, right? What, you know, Vivi, you know, I love that. All these series that I love, is, you know, none of them that's been done by Wit is a dislike of mine, right? I love them all. They're really well done. They're really, you know, I might not have seen one or two, but like I've seen majority of them, and they're a good company, right? When it comes to anime adaptations of manga and, you know, or light novels, right? Can't remember if they have done any, but I'm just, you know, keeping my bases covered here in case they have, because, you know, you don't know what what's come from light novel to manga and then to anime. So yeah, so let's have a look at this. So while, you know, let me just grab a drink here, guys. Excuse me. Got to keep it lubricated, right? Because otherwise I'll be sounding like a frog. And due to smoking, don't smoke, kids, I've basically ruined my speech. That's why it's always this husky, weird sounding. It's like weird when I listen to myself when I'm editing. I'm going, man, that voice is getting worse all the time. So here we go. While Warner Brothers live action DC prospects are about to take a plunge with Aquaman 2, and it is, and it's sad, and that's because they backed the wrong, you know, they backed the wrong cow. Because everybody told them 2 years ago, get rid of her, and this is Amber Heard, right? Get rid of Amber Heard. They did a, you know, they did like a, what is it called? I know, some sort of like poll, sort of like poll or like signature thing, right? Where like, get rid of her or we won't watch it. And so 3 million people, I think it was something like that, said we don't. Yeah, and this is 3 million people that paying, right? Because if you're gonna go put your name down to it, you're like, I would go and watch it, right? Kind of thing. So I'm not gonna, because that's not a normie, that's a fan signing it, right? And so there you go. So they didn't, and they kept backing it, and then Amber Heard's out here throwing them all under the wheel, under the bus, as they say. And so, Aquaman 2 is dead in the water. They don't even think they're going to make 50 million. Much like Marvel's, right? Which is going to lose like $300 million. Man, that's like 450 New Zealand if I do, quick maths according to the foreign exchange. So, okay. So here we go. Plunge, right. Let's get back to the start again. While Warner Brothers live action DC prospects are about to take a plunge with Aquaman 2, the latest trailer for the studio and anime production house Wit Studios' upcoming Suicide Squad SAK collaboration suggests that their next animated outing is looking to conversely jump the king shark in all the best action-packed ways. Bit of king shark humor. The film's latest chaos and action-packed trailer was first unveiled on December 1st as part of its thing, right? Narrated by storied anime voice actor Takehito Koyashu, the current voice of Dio Brando and the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure series. The trailer not only features more footage of Suicide Squad in action, but it also revealed both their in-story roster and prospective voice actors. Let's have a look at this, right? Now let's make sure I'm on full. I am on full, and here we go.
2023年7月に発表された全世界驚愕の新作アニメーション異世界スーサイドスクワッド。発表直後より全世界のトレンドを席巻。 DC のキャラクターが日本初のオリジナルアニメーションで描かれる。ワーナーブラザースジャパンウィットスタジオがお届けする注目作異世界スーサイドスクワッドの新情報をお届けするプログラムスーサイドスクワッド異世界リビールストリーム。ナレーションをお送りしますのは私小安武人です。さあみんな準備はできてるか。早速最新 PV から行くぞ。レッツパーティー。
That's cool. I love it. But like, I'm a fan of anime, and I like animation. I'm a fan of animation, so I'm gonna watch it but it's kind of like the thing is like, it's like what Marvel did. Excuse me. With Spider-Man, or was it like Deadpool, whatever it is, it did with like manga. And they did it on like webtoons and everything. And it's like, we need that Japanese crowd. We need that Asian crowd, right? We need them to buy our comics. It's like, you already have the Western market. And if you continue doing the way people have loved this character, you will get those characters, those people, those Asian people that you want so much, that will like it. So, and I'm going to tell you, I want to show you something about that. Let me just, come here, buddy. I'm going to show you a photo. From an event that I was part of last year. So I'm going to, let's put this up here for a time being. And if you excuse me, I'm going to find this photo, and I'm going to show you, the reality of things, right? When it comes to me just make sure I've got the right photo. I don't want to be like doxing someone here. All right. I don't mean like doxing that way. I just mean like, you know, but I want to show you guys this photo in the sense that here's a kid, right? Here's a kid at an event with me, right? Where you will see who is not a Western kid, who is not a Westerner, right? As you can see here, you know, he's dressed as Spider-Man. And he's doing the Spider-Man symbol. And here we are, right? I'm Manji here in the middle, as you can see, wearing my glasses because otherwise I won't be able to see anything, right? I mean, up close. And then, so you've got this, you know, 4 of us here. This gentleman here is African, from the, you know, South Africa area there, continent, African continent, I should say. And, you know, he's dressed up as from Demon Slayer, right? And here I'm Manji from Samurai, the Samurai animation manga, Blade of the Immortal, right? It's my favorite, you know, my sort of first introduction to a manga, and I actually love the artwork so much. I did mosaics of that artwork, right? And mosaics are like, you know, tiny, you know, tiles and stuff, like broken tile, and you put it, make an image of it. And I did like a scenery of from Manji fighting. There was a page and of panels from the manga, you know, and they were really small. And I blew it up, and then I like designed it onto boards, and I, you know, glued these, you know, images on that. And here you have a young boy who is not a Westerner, but of course probably raised in the West, but here is in New Zealand, right? This is from New Zealand last year, about a year ago, 18th. Hey, it's about this week, it's coming week, right? So he is doing the handshake, you know, Spider-Man's single symbols, right? Emotions, and wearing his suit at an anime convention, right? So you kind of think, you know, there's you can get, if you do something right, you know, and you keep continuing doing it right, you will get that crowd. But if you go hunting for it, it kind of feels like disingenuous, which is why I feel that a whole diversity inclusivity has always been disingenuous, because it's never been about inclusivity or diversity. It's about how to make money off that. Right? How do we make money off it? Because corporations don't do anything unless there's a money thing to it. If we're going to put a product out, how do we market it to make us bring back as much royalties, as much money out of it? Right? That's why they'll go to bat, like we just did that thing with Marvel and Steve Ditko. That's why they, you know, they fight tooth and nail, right, over their products. And so, you know, to keep it back, you know, keep it in the family, right? To keep them from anybody getting their hands on it. So, you know, I know today's was so anyway, let's finish up with this, right? So like I'm saying, you can do it great. You can, you know, but people will like it, right? People will like what you're doing if you do it well, right? If you do it well, right? If you do it bad, they won't like it. Because here's the thing. You don't have to convince the fans. Actually, no, you do have to convince the fans. See, your main source of your income stops with the fans. Or I should say starts with the fans. Because they are your 80% of your, because there might be only be 20%. All right, there's a 20-80% ratio when it comes to any business. 20% of your customers are repeat customers. They're the ones who just love your product, and they'll come to you and they'll buy 80% of your product. It's like me. When I go to a store, I go there and I'm the guy who's buying things every week, right? It's kind of like, it's like I'm a loyalty customer, right? So I will spend money, and even if it's just a sale item, right? I'm there as a supporter of that store because I want to see success. I want that store to be still around, because if I don't support that store will be gone, right? Because if I don't go, then somebody else will not go, then somebody else will not go, somebody else will not go. So you don't get the regular faces. But here's the thing: sometimes, right, there are salespeople who are not understanding of that, and I'm grateful because I know that where I am in my township, every salesperson appreciates when you walk in and are there, because even if you're just looking around, it means that the store is busy, because that just the idea that the store is busy attracts people to the store. Have you ever been to like a sale thing and there's nobody there, right? Like if I go to the Xbox DVD sets, whatever, or or PS5s, whatever, PS4s, it's all stacked up there, right? I'm just talking in reference to where I am, right? Nobody's there. The moment I go there, 2-3 people, follow in and look as well. They go, ooh, hopefully it's got something I don't want to miss out on in case he comes across what I want. It's that whole crowd mentality. And so when you go into store, people see, oh, it's not empty. Oh, let's go. There's somebody in there. Let's see what else. It must be something interesting. So it's that kind of mentality. So it's good. So if you have a pop culture store, if you have something that you like, there's a store in your area that you like, in your town, city, whatever. Show loyalty to it if it's a good place, right? By going there, often enough. If you're in town, just go check it out. Don't worry about if you can buy. I mean, that's a cool thing. That's what, like, I kind of like to. I have like about 3 specific stores I go to. 4, I should say. 4 specific stores I go to. No, 5, I should say. 5. Yeah, there's 3 op shops, right? And because now there's a new pop culture store, so there's 6, and then there's 3 retail stores, right? So 3 op shops and 3 retail stores. So I'm balancing it out, right? Half and half. So I like to, if I'm spending my money, I like to like spread it out, because in the sense that I'm like trying to be supportive of my community, in the sense that I'm keeping the money local. I mean, I could buy them cheaper online, but that money is not going to stay in New Zealand. That's not going to stay in the community. That's not going to stay here, right? In my city, where it's needed by my friends and family, where it's needed by my community, right? And their friends and family, right? And this is something I learned a while back, maybe like about 2010, maybe earlier, about 2010. Yeah. It was about learning about credit and how credit works. When you put $1 down on a counter, that dollar gets broken into different portions. So there's power bill, a portion that goes towards power bill, water rates, food expenses and all that. And it just spreads out. It's just weird. Like, really have a look into it. All right. How much of a single dollar can be utilized. And then the moment you pick it away, that's what you've taken away. That's why it's sort of like, it kind of gave me an idea. So when I was running my business as a comic shop owner, right? Pop culture, all that stuff. Trading cards, the whole shebang. I learned what it meant as a business person, and what it meant when someone came and put money down on my counter, and it was difficult when I had to close that dream down. And so, you gotta be really self-conscious about how you spend money that you have, so, and now here we are at Christmas time, right? This is probably the first Christmas where we're not swapping presents. And it's just I don't know who decided that, but I just got a notification. We're just having a huge dinner and all that. We're not doing Christmas presents this year. And I'm like, okay. However, personally, I've got, one nephew I have to give something to because I don't see him enough. And it's not cool for me to feel like not giving him anything because he's not nearby. So I can't, drop off something every now and then. And I think it just feels a bit, I don't feel good about not doing that. So here's what I'm saying about Christmas time, right? Because we're in the middle of it, and it's toys and stuff like that. So this is a good time to teach your young ones about money, its value of things going into the new year. I think it's important that kids learn about these things early on, about how, how the world works economically. If you teach your young ones really well and with love and care about saving, about responsibility around finances, they'll grow up with such a good understanding in the sense that you are setting them up to succeed. So do that this Christmas. When you're giving a present, go, hey, I bought this because I thought you'd enjoy it, and I spent, it took a bit of, hunting, and I went around looking for it. Add value to this, right? Add value to it. Don't just friggin' go here. Sit down with them, talk to them about why you bought that, because you thought, I love this character. It meant so much to me, and I hope it means the same to you. And even if it doesn't, I hope it looks good on your shelf, and later on maybe you'll come to learn more about it. And if you like it, ask your parents to buy you more stuff about it, and maybe buy you some bedtime storybooks or comics and so on, because you're not trying to turn them into a or what you would call it, like a consumer. You're trying to tell them to lean into what they like, enjoy what they like, spend money in what they like, not on every other frivolous little thing, but centering on what they like. Like I said, I've said previously that I used to be a Marvel fan because that's all I liked. And so my money didn't go into drugs, right? So most of my money, percentage of my money went into music and comics, right? Buying like albums, cassettes, and so on, toys, and then buying, comic books. And so I actually had something there. Sadly, they got lost in a fire. So all these first edition comic books were lost, of first appearances, of all these amazing characters were lost because of the fire, right? But at the end of the day, if I still had them, I like 60, 70, $100,000 worth of comics, right? Of value, because I kept my comics in mint condition. So, but that's what you want to teach your young ones at this time at Christmas: value. Value of income, of money, value of finances, the importance of learning about finances. Because that's one thing that I see a lot of damage being done to people's lives because they've never learned that early on, and so they don't have that later on. See, like me, I know the value in what I own, so I know what to get rid of and what not to get rid of, what to keep a hold of forever, what not to hold on to forever, right? So all of these figures are like $20 right now. The value just on its own, just here, $20, all of them, right? Even though this was $9, it's still $20, right? So because that's the minimum, right? And so even if it's still $9, it doesn't really matter to me because it's what it is, right? However, in time, when it gets harder to be found, people are out there wanting it, and they want to fill the gap in their on the shelf for these characters, the value becomes higher and so on. and it's important that, that how to learn these things early on so that you can actually not get ripped off. And I see a lot of times, people, kids getting ripped off because they don't know the value of things. And, there are trades and stuff, but I mean, at the end of the day, you got to do what you got to do and get the best deal you want. But, I suggest, as a parent, please, or a nephew, uncle, or grandparent, please teach your kids finances early on. Your grandkids, nephews, and nieces, value. Because if you don't learn about financial value early on, you will not pass it on to your kids, and then they'll have same failures in life as well. Because and I, growing up later, I've learned that, right? And one of the things is that it's cool to be able to learn. It's easier to learn when you're younger than when you're older. It takes a lot more time to grasp and understand things. So that's my financial advice in the way of just what you could do this time of year, not like what you should do, but that's something that you can do. Because just handing a kid something without any reference or any information is just like a shop owner just selling you something without saying, hey, there's something else there that you could buy, right? There's something else there. Would you like this? There's something else that's also on special. And I've had people do that with me. Like, I've great relationships with store owners that go, hey, I've put this aside for you because I know that you like, and I go, oh, cool. Since I'm getting it, now I'm going to buy something else because you did that, right? And I think this is how you want to be, because it's going to be hard next year. Inflation's going to be kicking your butt next year, kicking my butt next year. It's already is, and so, everything's it's going to be more expensive. And I think it's important to learn how to go into it in the new year smarter, right? All right. That's us. And for this one, right? So let's get rid of that. Now I want to play this it's a squad, what is it, like Suicide Squad Isekai trailer, right? Pause. Thank you. Right, let's add that to the list. Add that to our screen, and we can go and let's watch this. So this is a 40-second trailer. Hopefully it's not the same one, right? So it is the same one without the voice actor. Yeah, it's like, hey kids, Isekai is the hottest thing right now, right? So let's do an Isekai thing. But like I said, from Studio Wit, and Studio Wit is cool, right? You can't say anything bad about Studio Wit because they're quality. They just do quality stuff. And I love this poster as well, by the way. This Harlequin poster looks really cool. Very cute. Awesome. But while I was watching the other, while I was watching the other trailer before, the promotional piece, right, with the voiceover, I was thinking there is going to be a lot of anime Suicide Squad figures coming out. And guess what? They're going to be coming out of Japan, in the sense that there will be statues, or is there like a figure series coming from McFarlane, right? Is McFarlane Toys going to be putting out, all right? Get in there. Just doesn't want to do it. Get over there. There we go. No, doesn't want to do it. Anyway, you know what I mean, right? Is McFarlane Toys going to be doing a anime figure series? Because from what I understand, they already do that with is it Jujutsu Kaisen or something? There's a whole bunch of series that they've done, and I think I've got one here somewhere that they already do them, right? These animated figure series. Yeah, they got licenses for them. So I think I'm looking forward to this Suicide Squad Isekai TV series, because it means that there'll be all these figures that'll be coming out of them that I'll be interested in looking at getting. I need a Harlequin, right? I really do need a Harlequin anime figure, because I have a couple cute ones up around here and stuff somewhere there. Because I've got a few Joker, but I do need a couple new Harlequin ones. But the other thing is, I don't, I get to have Poison Ivy as well, if that's part of the series, right? So I'm hoping that this has got, this series has got, let's get back over here, and I'll show you all the other characters, right? So you've got Harlequin, you got Deadshot, right? You've got Peacemaker, you got Clayface, King Shark, right? So, and Joker, right? So you've got all these characters here, and of course Michael Jackson, right? Excuse me. Is Peacemaker? No, that's not, can't be Peacemaker. So who is this then? Is that Clayface? Because that's Deadshot, right? The third one across, before Peacemaker, right? So yeah, so this dude with the hat, which looks like Michael Jackson, maybe he is Clayface, in a different form. But look at how cute friggin' Harlequin looks, right? And so yeah, I wonder, I guess what was called yeah, like I guess it's going to be lots of cool little, all these statues and stuff, and it'll be great, because here's the thing. If you remember before there was like Batman Japan or something like that. I love that series. I know I have a Batman Japan Funko Pop, because I missed out on the figurines, like the larger ones and stuff like that. So I'm hoping to have that. Now we're probably going to have to do talk about CONAN next time, sadly, because I really wanted to hang out and talk about that with Big Stew. So let's get to unboxing, right? That's enough of that. Let's get to unboxing. Let's get let me clear out this area, because there's so much stuff here. So I am going to need to wipe this down, because as you know, I had a coffee there before. So while we're doing that, I'm going to play let me find something cool that I want to show you guys something. Let's just this video, I've always loved this video about since I saw it way back in the middle of the night, 2002, and was it not? And it has to do with right. So while you guys watch that, I am going to grab a cloth. Stop playing, buddy. Just let me. I'm going to grab a cloth and wipe down this table here, my desk, study desk, whatever, and then I'll be back in a second. So.
Why don't you tell me about your character, Conan?
Conan? Conan is the damnedest bastard there ever was. He's got a long black mane of hair, crystal blue eyes. He's a fighter, born on the battlefield. To him, combat's a way of life. It's all he's ever known, all he ever wants to know. He's no soldier who was taught to fight. To him, fight is an instinct. It's a pony! Like his legs, his arms, his chest, his bull neck. Believe me, he don't take it from nobody. He'll fight man, beast, devil, or God. When those women feel those tree trunk firm arms around their waist, they melt like butter on a hot skillet. Oh, hell.
That always, like, seriously, hearing Vincent D'Onofrio talk about Conan as he acts, as Vincent as Robert E. Howard, the creator of Conan, in that moment has always, there's the moment I realized that he was who he was. I didn't know up till that movie because I just turned it on. It was playing. I watched it because I couldn't sleep. And so this is around about 2002 was when I saw the biopic. It's amazing. It's written by the female represented in that movie there. It's a biopic. It's based on her diaries or her biography, right? And it's just so cool. And if you haven't seen it, definitely check it out, man. Like, let me just get you the name of the movie. It's called The Whole Wide World, right? It's just the most amazing, he's just, I think he died about 37 years old. And, the name of the movie is The Whole Wide World. And it's like I said, it's a biopic about Robert E. Howard, the creator of so many characters, including Conan, right? And just one of the greatest of all time, right? Inspiration behind one of my characters, Claritin. Etruk. I haven't. It's like a beast man kind of character, but I'm developing it right now and so on. So let's get to unboxing. All right, let's get to unboxing. This thing has been waiting to be unboxed by me for a long, long time. Right now, I can't tell, right, if this has already been opened or not, because it's just the way it is here. But like, as you can see, look at that. There's a diorama. I can't remember what I paid for it. I would have to look back along, in my bank accounts and stuff, whatever. But like I said before, right? And with this one, with this one here, you've got this really cool, I guess this Black Widow. I was thinking like if I could take it off and then I could put that on my computer, like the box, the PC box there, and have that on it, because that looks pretty cool. So I'll try that later, and maybe try some like a heat thing, with a heat gun. So let's see how we can put this on, and I'll try not to lose this little Ant-Man, right? So let's start with the back. And I love these ties, right? I do love these ties. By that I mean these things here, right? I love these ties because I get to use them over and over again to tie up, freezer bags and so on. And it's just, it's not wasted, right? And here's the thing, guys. If you get these, I don't know, you probably don't want them and stuff and throw them away. You can put them to a lot of great use, right? And so don't just throw it into rubbish and get it dumped and just, metal and plastic, and that takes forever to degrade. I'm sure the metal would rust and all that, but like the plastic is there for a long time. So look at that, right? 15 centimeter, by the looks of it, piece of wire that you can, tie up stuff, and it's not wasted. Things are only wasted if you don't have an imagination on how to use them. So I like to recycle as much as I can, right? And so that is there. Now let's have a look. So this comes with 3 ties, 2 on the legs, 1 each, and then 1 around the chest, right? I mean the abdomen. This is a classic figure, by the way. The look of her, because she's now kind of like she's got the black. This is a purple. And I think she looks cool in purple as well. But I mean, it'll be, it's kind of like a silver purple. Very interesting. I broke my nail a while back, and it just doesn't come right because it splits down the middle all the time now, because that's where the weak spot is. And sadly, every now and then it likes to break more when I try and use it. So it's just, and it's your, right hand thumb. So this one's like a bit more smaller, right? Less than half the size, of course. Actually, it is half the size, so it's 7.5 centimeters. Let's get that out there. And I gotta use my left hand fingers, because the right thumb is a bit weak on the nails there. I don't want to split the nail. I think I might have to start wearing something to like strengthen, like a bandage or something over to protect it so it doesn't split all the time. Now let me get rid of that. So here's the figure, right? So for a minute there, I thought the leg was a bit small on one side. No, it's just the way it's set up. Right. So the width, I'm trying to figure out how this is supposed to sit on here now. As you can see, there is no. Yeah, that's weird. So there is no little holes in here, like pegs, I should say, not pegs, not holes, pegs, right? So there's no pegs there. And this kind of looks like an Iron Man figure, but there's no pegs in here because she's got pegs on her legs, right? So I guess in the sense they say like, well, you can use anything, right? You can use this for any diorama, right? So you could put actually Iron Man up here, right? And he'll be fine. But the problem here is there's no area to actually stand the character flat, or well, enough to like make it stand on, right? So as you can see, right? So there's nothing kind of like it's going to allow me to like showcase it being able to stand there, unless I somehow, I think the only way I could do it is if I glue it in place, right? And try to set it up in a way that'll, it's not, it's all bandy and stuff, and it's not going to stand. But I wish they had put a peg in this. But now I got to drill a hole and create a peg, so so I can have her here, or have her kind of like somehow standing in a way that's actually showcases her in the situation, going, "Why, Tony? Why? So let's have a look at the figure itself, because the diorama is really good, right? This is like this looks like it's a silicon. Maybe it might actually be where it's done in parts, like the legs are done in parts. So then it's glued on, right, into whatever is there, because it doesn't feel like it's like, because if it's a loose silicon, kind of like this, because I've seen how they do these figures. If it's a silicon cast, because it's got a lot of details, right? Especially for this, it's got a lot of friggin' details. If you look at it, it's amazing details, right? So so all these parts, like this building part, backdrop here, the wall there, cinder block, whatever it is, it's really well done, but the thing is, it is like there's a base plate, 1 2 3 4 5 6 5 5 other special pieces here are actually attached to it, glued to it, right? So which is why why I'm saying, like, it's made for, you could use that for anything, but it's hard to have the figure stand on it. It's a bit wobbly, but it's there. Let me see if I could find a high enough. One of the other things, because we're doing a lot, doing more videos and all this stuff, I decided to invest on a, have you seen, you guys have probably seen that, where there is these see, that's not even high enough. Gosh. Let me see if I can bring that up, and that'll help it go a bit higher. Where there's like a rotating, rotating figure. No, sorry, a rotating circle thing, mound platform, I should say, rotating platform. That's the name of it. That 360, right? So it rotates around, and you get to, see it all around it. So I'm getting one of those for you guys, so we can, we can take really cool videos of those and showcase them, all around it. And I'm gonna actually, go a bit further and actually make a bit of a, or not make one, or find a box, like a plastic clear box or something that I can have here, and it's high enough so you guys can. There you go. It was way out of focus. I don't know why that happened, but like, so you guys can see these really, really cool figures and great detail. And of course, these are pins, right? So these go back maybe, earlier on. I should check what year this came out in. Excuse me. 2011, right? So it's 12 years old. So, I almost forgot that little Ant-Man. He's so tiny, right? So the thing here is, like, so not to lose little tiny Ant-Man, I'm going to have to, like, sellotape him, take the sellotape off him here, and then sellotape him back onto, oh gosh, sellotape him back onto the back wall of this figure, so I don't lose him, because it's very easy to lose something like this small, right? Because, like, seriously, look at how small he is. Right, size of my thumb. Seriously, here's the size of my friggin' thumb. Right, like the first knuckle, whatever. You know. And he's gone. He's fallen off. Please don't get squashed. All right. Fell on the other side of the table. So you can see it's very, very friggin' tiny. Let's see the details on this thing. You know, they haven't, I mean, I was going to say they haven't put much details, but how much details can you put on something that's small? Right? There you go. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to put this on the back wall here. Right, so it's there for, you know, and it's not going to get lost. So I know he's there. Right, so I know he's there, and I don't lose him and move in and stuff. And might actually, in time, I'll find some good glue and actually glue him there. Right, because he looks really cool. You know, he looks really cool there like that. And you know, or maybe, you know, I might put him on Natasha's wall. I mean, shoulder wall, on Natasha's shoulder. Right, that'd be pretty cool. And she can, you know, the two of them can hang out. Now the next one here, right? Let's open another one. What should we go? Left and right. So let's go female, male, then female, then male. Right. Of course, the best way to showcase Natasha is, of course, with Hawkeye. You know, I kind of feel like they should have. I mean, oh no, actually, no. This is wrong. I shouldn't do that. I should not ship. Shipping is, you know, not cool. So yeah, I think, yeah, it looks like these like basically came like that or some weird way, because yeah, so they actually just, yeah. So what I mean is like these just clip on. They actually are loose. So whoever owned this previously thought like, yeah, I don't like it loose. It just keeps popping out. So, you know, like, because it's supposed to like, you know, be there, that's fine. But then they went and put this plastic thing on there. And I think that's what happened on that one as well, maybe. Yeah, same thing happened on that one as well. So they don't like the flappy flap. So this is a really cool one. This is different in the sense that it's pretty dusty. It's been sitting up there again for another week or two. It's pretty dusty in the sense that, like, you know, not dusty. And it's pretty cool in the sense that there isn't a diorama with this one, but there's a lot of other stuff. So you can see the dog and, you know, the spare head without the glasses, and you got the bow and arrow, and you've got the gun, and you've got a grenade. Is that a grenade? No, that's spare hand. You know, there's a lot more stuff with this one, not because it doesn't have the diorama that Black Widow came with. Natasha. So let's pop open this one. This is 2021 as well. Where are we going to see it? It's 2021. Huh. Weird. So this is the Avenging Hawkman, by the way, proof of purchase. All right, that's what it says on there, but I cannot for the life of me see the year it's been released. Maybe it'll be in the back of the statue itself. Ages 8 and up, because of course it'll all the little, you know, dangerous little, I mean, not dangerous, but like, you know, chokeable little pieces. I usually say don't cut towards you, because, you know, if the knife slips, you can easily get stabbed. This is, it's easier to open from this side than the other side. So once again, I forgot to tell you, each one of them comes with one of these, so we'll have a look at that soon. So for me, I guess this is Christmas coming early, but I've had this, sit around since May, as I mentioned, like another video. One of the things, I think I'm just going to leave it, not leave it, but I mean, there's too many moving parts in this, and this is like a really cool figure. So if you look at, let me see, this is Diamonds, this is Marvel Select. So these figures are actually larger than your normal figures. Gosh. Hopefully you can see. Yeah, so they're about an inch taller, right? So you can see here, I'm holding them exactly by the feet, right? So you can see they're an inch taller, right? And as you know, I like redheads, and that's just me, right? And I think it's red is just something special in the sense that you can see blondes everywhere, you can see brunettes everywhere, you can see people black hair everywhere. But red's pretty cool. And as I've mentioned before, I actually had a red hair at one point. It was like 48 hours was all I had it for. Before I was told to go home and, change it back to your natural color so I could dye it black. Which sucked because I don't think I actually had there's Clint's dog. I don't even know, like, they don't tell you much about anything on this card, right? Or do they? Nope, that's the wrong one. Let me see. No, I thought, yeah, they don't tell you nothing much about anything. They don't tell you the dog's name, why they have a dog with them, what's the importance of having a dog with them, right? They don't tell you jack about that. Now, this one, of course, because of the quail, is it quail or whatever, the holder at the back here? Quill? Is it quill? I don't know. Anyway, so because of that at the back, they haven't tied them around the waist because it'll be hard to get to. So they've tied them around both arms, at the elbow, and then at the boot around the ankles. So you get 4 instead of 3 on this one. Ties that as on. Let's see if we can do all, open all four of these up in the next half hour. Because that's all the energy I got for today, because I've been sick for about all week, right? I got better yesterday. So we did a broadcast, a short broadcast yesterday, and then I thought we'll get together and do the last one of these, and then we got one more this week with comics and ramblings, and then that's our year, kind of like our last Christmas. I'm going to be doing a bit more ramblings anyway, like, got to keep the news updated, right? I mean, keep you guys updated with the news, because not everybody has time to seek out all the things that are going on. So someone like me, I find it like, because I've always seen it myself as a journalist, because I have done a bit of journalism in a sense for a while, on and off. And so I see myself as a journalist, and I like talking about the news and what's going on in pop culture and stuff, and gathering that all up in one place on our comics and ramblings, right? That way, even across all these other shows that we do, because that way we just keep up to date with what's going on. Now, Clint, just like, gosh, it's a bit, it's quite a solid figure for that time, right? So if we're looking about 2011 with the other figures, right? This is 12 years ago. They're very good figures, like you can see here, he's almost the same height as Natasha. So I'm not sure if Natasha's supposed to be about 6'2" or whatever height. Excuse me, pardon me. Whatever height, let me see if I can bring this down a bit. No, it doesn't. Oh, by the way, I've also invested in an actual webcam, which like a holder thing, which you can move around. So that way I can show you what's going on here easier later on. Pull the webcam closer to the table and so on. Which means I probably have to tidy up my table because it's got paint and all that. But hey, there's always, like I said, don't have enough room. Every time I buy a toy, it takes a bit more, of the space in this room. So I'm just trying to like see how this stands, because like this is a brand new figure, so it's been there's no smell to it now, because like it's been around for 11 years, 12 years, and so all that smell, the plasticky smell, is gone. But yeah, but there's so many. Let me see. So the gun will go in that hand. He's got the spearhead. I think the best thing for me to, I'm going to show you the figure anyway, right? You got to see the cool, he's pretty cool, And the way, it's kind of interesting how like Hawkeye doesn't have a symbol, but like Hawkeye actually has a symbol in the sense of the shape on his chest. That's his brand thing. As you can see with Natasha, she's got that here, right? That upside down triangle kind of thing, like the double triangle meeting each other. So it's kind of like you could, Black, it's the way it's just the way it's set up. It's like Black Widow, just the way they've done it. It's very simple but very effective for that character. It's not like a circle X or whatever. But yeah, so I'm gonna leave that there because I don't want to be, losing all these things here, because it's going to end up, I'm going to have to pack it into a plastic bag. So it's, and I'll do that later anyway, because then I know what part of what, and when I display it later, I've got a good idea of which goes to which, and I haven't lost any pieces. That's the thing about opening these things up, is that, ever so often you end up losing pieces because of that, and it's, can be quite annoying. And like the other day, when I was like putting all these out into this shelf here, right? You can't really see much of it. Let me just show you. So I was, these shelves here, right? These drawers, I should say. From this thing, I found that it was like one of my Joker pieces that a friend got me. That this 3.5-inch Jokers that came with like page punches from the McFarlane thing. The Joker had just fit in there, but actually I had thought that the Joker was in like was lost under one of the friggin' cabinets, and so I've been moving the cabinets around for every now and then. Every time I moved it, I've looked under there and it's never there. Well, it had just dropped into one of the friggin' containers and had been hiding under there all this time, right? All right, so let's go and open up one of my other favorite characters, and I love the movie, by the way. I did, and I still do love Elektra and the movie, the Deadpool movie, and that she was in with. It's in my head, but I can't remember. Right? J-Lo, no. Wait, the actor was married to J-Lo. Right? So this one's an interesting one, right? So in the sense that she's got two lower bodies, a spare set of arms, a spear, nunchucks, and her, this is a very, very value for money, I guess. Maybe this might have been actually dearer, price wise, right? Because it's huge. Like seriously, you guys need to see this, right? So this is huge. Right, here goes like Marvel Comics, Marvel Knights Lecture number 1, 2001. Right, so it's based off that, and it's really great. right? So unlike the Cliff one, right? Cliff Barton one, Hawkeye. This one actually has stuff, right? It says a bit of information. So, assassin, lover, enigma, driven by tragedy and honed by training. Excuse me. The femme fatale, known as Electra, kills for hire, lives for thrills, and leaves destruction in her wake. All those who possesses no superhuman abilities, like Cliff, like Natasha. Electra is a consummate practitioner of the martial arts. She has mastered the skills of the ancient ninja of Japan, and an Olympic level athlete and gymnast. Electra wields a pair of three-pronged daggers, or sai, right? So that's what we're looking at there. The sai. Also, she is proficient in the use of various martial arts weaponry, right? Now, who's the artist on this? Chuck Austin, right? Look at that. Look at that amazing. I'm not sure if that's Chuck Austin's cover art or if it's David Mack, but that's amazing cover art. I think I have that. Maybe not. But I am so excited to have Electra in my collection now. Now, what I meant when I said like there's a lower torso, right? Check that out. They have a spare body on a stand in this, like lower body, I should say. And the question is why? Right? Why do they have that? Right? So, and then like I showed you, there's a spare arm, right? Here, oh, wrong side, spare arm. You got, I love this nunchucks where there's like three of them chained together rather than two. So which means that you got to be really friggin' good. If you're using this weapon, you got to be really, really, really good martial artist to be able to do that. Because I've seen it. I've watched enough martial arts movies to see that being used, and it's like out there. Now the other thing here is this. So you've got this amazing spear, right, as well. So, you know, and that's got a bit of a ribbon to it as well. And on top of that, she's on a freaking castle top. Like, what, perch? Is that what they call it? Perch or something like that? You know? And they got that little E in there that's written in Japanese. Maybe it's something else. I don't know. But, you know, means something else. But then you've also, under here, you know, you've got the sai. But she's also got the sai in her hand as well. So you got two sets of sai. So like I said, this is a very expensive piece. I wish it'd be nice to know what price this was sold at originally at retail, I mean, because it's a very heavy little piece, right? So this is compared to like the Electra one and the Cliff Barton one. This has got to be the more expensive one. You know, 2011, it's, yeah, there's a whole bunch of things going on in the back. So there's like, it opens up as well. Like you can see here, here, you can hang it on the wall, right? With your screws right there. That's what those are for. You know, you put that into the screw head and then drop it down slightly. And then of course you've got, fingers going the wrong way. You've got this door that's going to open. So you can see it's like a little cupboard, right? Let's have a look. So I think I paid like about $30 or something for this. So I'm not really sure exactly what I paid. Now these ties are different to the ones that are in, you know, there's more like a wire rather than a tie. But I mean, they're all like wires. But you'll see what I mean. Gosh, they're so weirdly tight. There we go. Oh, no, there we go. Imagine all that someone in that factory just, you know, having to, that's their job all day long, is to tie these together, right? Is to just sit there or stand, depending what sort of chain they're on the factory run they're on, you know, and all they got to do, and of course these are made in China, so you know the conditions aren't good. You know, to be honest, I would like to see all these things come back to the West, like the actual manufacturing and all that. And I know it's cheaper doing it overseas, and it helps us, you know, with certain things that we do, because we just can't cut it price-wise, you know, competing with anybody. I'm not competing, but just pricing it enough to be able to get people to buy your stuff. It's really tough, and you know, people go, oh, why aren't you doing? You go, listen, man, if you pay that top dollar, then we will. So here's what I mean by the difference between those ties and that tie. See how skinny they are, right? And then it's easier with these ones and then this one. But like, look at that long wire, because it's got to go wrap around this entire thing, right? And I'm doing it very gently because I don't want to scratch any of the paint or scratch the actual figure itself. So this one's a bit more thicker compared to this one. So this one, like, you can actually see the thickness. See that? And if, you know, both of them are like, one's, I think it's like, yeah, the one's longer than the other by about 10 centimeters. Yeah. So I'm going to take out every little piece. So here's what I meant by like, oh, and this is cool. See how like the pegs are there? You see that? The pegs are there, right? The pegs are there. Why didn't they have the pegs on freaking Natasha's one on this, right? Why don't they have the pegs on this? Make my life easier. Look really cool sitting up there. But here's the thing, guys. So this is for wall display as well as a stand on its own. So you could stand it on its own, or you can display it on the wall. But the other cool thing is, see in the back here? Didn't know it was there, but now I knew that like it was going to open. But see that there? That's for all the weapons, and it shows you where the weapons go. This is why I meant that this must have been a really more expensive, you know. See the design there? There you go. So it tells you exactly what goes where. So this is why I kept saying that, like, you know, that this is a bit more of an expensive piece because of what is being, you know, how heavy that is, the fact that it's like a display piece that you can actually, you know, showcase your stuff. And it does have these little gray ones as well. Ties, I should say silver ties as well, apart from the black one. So I guess they put the black one on there so it wouldn't take, you know, having gray would take too much away from the, you know, being displayed in the box and so on. But this is going to be my favorite out of all of them in the sense of display. But this design of Elektra is gorgeous. And of course, you know that it was Frank Miller who created the character of Elektra, right? So here's the thing. So this one here is actually has got the holes and is actually goes straight back there. Sits straight up there, right? So I'm going to close that so you can see. So while we look at this, oh, actually I've got to back to front. So there we go. All right. And it's amazing. Like, I'm going to take all these little weapons off. It's amazing to see. Like, I have the Elektra graphic novel. I'll bring it over. So actually, let me just grab it because I'll forget otherwise. Hopefully I don't break everything while I'm trying to get to it because it's such a really difficult and, you know, area around here trying to get to stuff, like I said, because it's such a tight fit. And most of the time I can't see what's where because of that. Now, I probably won't be able to find it because I just can't see what's where at the moment. So sadly, you won't be able to see that amazing Lynn Barley and Frank Miller graphic novel hardcover, right? First edition hardcover graphic novel that I have. But I will put it on the community post, and you guys will be able to see it, right? At you guys will be able to see it when I put it there, like in like the post. So you guys will be seeing. I do have that graphic novel, and you know, it's such a it's not in the best condition, you know, it's not in mint condition or anything, but I paid like about $45 for it, and I'm happy because I just wanted it so much, you know. So this is what I was talking about, like the 3 nunchucks, you know, 3-piece nunchucks. It's just, they're really friggin', you know, they're really hard to master, this is what I'm trying to say, because it's one of those figures that like, you gotta have great control. Oh, by the way, another figure that I got, I bought this week, I actually bought last week, but got delivered this week, is Storm. I finally have I have a Funko Pop Storm, but I finally have a figure of Storm, and I've just bought another 2, right? Because another 1, because I have a body but no head, right? So look at that. This is, let's get back up there, because she's got a, you know, peg hole, so I could actually put her there. If I hold her up gently, you can see she stands in a peg hole really well. But yeah, so I bought that, and this is actually cloth. Who, you know, this here, and if I remember right, this is from like the, you know, one of the more recent iterations. Like I think it's a House of X or something like that. But but now because I bought this through one of my friends, Carlos, and through one of like a bulk purchase things, through a couple of us going together and buying it from this one supplier who's in Singapore, and we're able to, you know, get a better, you know, postage rate, because, you know, it's kind of dear to have things sent across. So when you go in together, it doesn't cost that much getting things, you know, sent to you. If they're sent, you know, there's a couple of you going in on it, it gets shared across the board, right? The postage thing. So let's get this other tie out here off the spear bladed, you know. Look at that. Oh yeah, sorry, I should show you this, the spare side. Look at that. So that's why I keep saying this is must be a more expensive piece. Like I said, I bought it at auction, so I don't know what the exact retail price of this was when it should come out. I might have to check it out, but isn't that cool? Like the details and everything, you know, it's amazing. Nope, doesn't want to focus. All right, so what we've got is we've got a set of bladed shies, and we've got a normal sai, and then we've got nunchucks, right? And then we've got the spear, long, you know, long blade spear. You've got the spare hands, probably to hold that spear. Oh no, they're not to hold, they're just fists. So they're just fists, so if she, you know, using fists instead of like blades or weapons, it's there. So she's got ties around the arms, and that's about it for this one, because she's already holding the blades. So this has got, I don't know what any other the pieces have at the moment, but there is a cool is it Mean Machine? Who's that? Winter Soldier. So there's a Winter Soldier there, right? And by the way, it's 2011 when these came out, so that means these dropped around the time Iron Man 1 came out, right? Or was it Iron Man 2? I think it was Iron Man 1. Let me just let me just check that. So IMDb, our good friend, let's go Iron Man 1. No, Iron Man 2. So it came out after Iron Man 2, right? So Iron Man 1 must have come out 2008, maybe? Because, I mean, you know, like, yeah, 2008. So Iron Man 2 came out 2008. And so, I mean, that doesn't change anything what we're talking about here, but I just thought, like, they must have, like, you know, all these characters, I mean, they've been running these out all the time, right? So, I mean, for decades. but they got better and better, right? And you know, figures like there's so much work that goes into designing these things. Like I said, you know, I'm a sculptor, so I know, you know, I guess a lot of them, you know, I guess they use 3D and CAD and all that now as well, and that's fine. And I think that's amazing. That's a talent itself, right? A skill, you know. And so, but I think, you know, it's just so good. It's just, yeah, you got to have the initial drawn thing, right? And then you got to come up with these. So I think, God, this one's a bit tricky because you got to make sure it's, I mean, you got to do it with everyone, but like, because the figure itself is trying to move while you're trying to take it off. All right, it's off. So here you go. So this one here, she's got her legs wide open in that stance, right? So, which is kind of weird. Like, so if you, I mean, not kind of weird, but like, you've got this displayed here, great. But now you've got this one displayed here. So what they're trying to say is, you know, take off the body, or not. Yeah. So how do you take off the body without? It just pops out. Right, so the upper body pops out, and you can display her, right, with just like this, or with the legs open. But it's kind of stupid. Do you know how hard this is to get in here now? There you go. So there. So you can either have this figure with the legs open or that. It's almost like, why don't you just give me friggin' both figures? It's really stupid, to be honest. And if I was in marketing, I would have said, guys, just give them two figures and charge them for the two figures, right? Or give them one figure. Because at the end of the day, sure, right? It looks, you know, now I guess you could like, which is what I'm going to do, right? Display a half. Can you really see that? I mean, can you see how weird that is? Like, to display it at the back, right? And have that there, because I like this figure. I think this is cool. That stance is really cool too. Look at that. It did it itself, by the way, while I was trying to move it. So you got that, right? And now you can, you know, you can display it with all these other things. Oh, by the way, I didn't notice, but there is a little tie, a little really tiny plastic ties. Let me see if I can show you, which is just over here, right? See if it just shines enough. That's holding these things in place on each hand. So let's see if, yeah. So you can just pull it out and it's there. But you got to remove that, because there you go. It's like a rubber, not rubber, like plastic. It's not elastic. So it's just a bit of circular plastic that's there. And, you know, it's just to because it's pretty loose. Like, seriously, it's like really loose when you hold it there. So you can see that. All right. It's really, really loose. It's not even like wide enough to, you know, it's not even like wide enough to hold it in place properly. So that's a bad design there, because I could have just made the, you know, that part thicker so it stays in her hands. If you want to go back in there, babe. Right. But yeah, So that's why they've got there. Otherwise, in the box, it would have on display, it would like disappear at the bottom of it if they didn't have that tie there. But that's like, that's something you should work out early on. And here's the thing. So same with this. This is loose as well, right? So it doesn't stay in one position, right? And this is after effect. I mean, this is 10 years, 12 years later. So you can see how it just flops around, right? Oop, and it's fallen out. So that's pretty bad. So now you've got all these, I'm going to leave that one there because, this one here, I'm going to leave that one on. So people, seeing it will see what it looks like. Now, let's bring her arm down. Right, here we go. And then I'm going to display it with the spear because I think it's a pretty cool weapon. Now, this is so the spear, and this is why they've actually made all the others. I mean, they should have kept all the, they should have kept all the handles of the blades the same size. And that would have meant that, they would have been able to, let me see if I can change this around a bit and it will be a better, no, it can't, it's pointless. Because the peg's in the one spot, it gets only displayed one way, right? So you can change the head, move the head around. So the only thing that's moves on these figures is the torso, the elbows, the shoulders, I should say. I'm holding my shoulders, I'm calling it elbow. The shoulders, not the wrists, and the head. So you can actually, the good thing is at least you can turn the head to face anyway. So you can have a, looking like this, right? But you can move the head so it faces elsewhere, right? So you can have it displayed like that. Because once it's on the stand, it doesn't move. It only has one way of, sitting on the stand, on the pegs, right? Which is that, right? So it's good. It's only going to be looking forward like that. So you got to move the head around, which is good that they actually have a swiveling head, right? So you can have a look facing forward. Excuse me. Right. So like I said, it's only the elbow, shoulder. I keep saying elbow. It's only the shoulder that moves around, so you can go up and down, back and forth, and that's about it, right? And that's why I want to keep this here because, at least you can show her with two blades. Otherwise, I could put this here, and it looked cool, but I like her with a shy, right? That's her weapon of choice. Because she's really, really proficient with that. But that's, yeah, I just wish I'd given both freaking figures, giving a torso, like a lower figure, stomach and lower, and then like, yeah, because it'd be cool to show her with both figures. Which kind of makes me want to go, well, maybe I should hunt down an upper body around there somewhere. Maybe they release it with something else on its own. But this is, yep, she looks amazing, by the way. Like, this is a great figure. I'm so proud that I've got this. So now, while that's there, I got to go, we got to go and put this away into the back so I can show you what that looks like, right? Now, which is the best way of putting this? All right, so silver into those little joints. Because I like this. I think this part here is really good and really well done, I think. But I'm just disappointed about the half a body. Could have been better if it wasn't just a half a body. Would have been, And they do fit snugly, right? They fit snugly. Into these let me just get this finished. Right, here we go. So they do fit really good and well. I'm going to hold that so it doesn't fall apart. Into these little These are the back. Isn't that cool? That's really cool. I think that's really well done. And by the way, these chains that are on there, they're metal, so they're loose chain. You know, they look really cool. Let me bring that out so you guys can actually see. I don't think I did a good job of like showing that off earlier. But you know, they're not you know, solid steel metal, but they're like kind of metal, right? So that's pretty cool, right? Okay, let's put that back in, and then we can like put this one away and open the last one, which is Winter Soldier. And then that should do us for the day. Now, oh, I just saw something here that I thought, so there are these, the spare peg. All right, this is kind of weird, but there is a spare peg thing here because I don't know what I'm supposed to do with it, but I'll have to research that later. But see this here, right? So you got that there. But then if you look on the side here, there's this peg thing here. So it kind of feels like they're supposed to come out, but like if you push too hard, you're gonna hurt yourself. So I'm gonna have to do a bit of research on that to see if they're supposed to come out. Because here's the thing. You can display, or you could, maybe. No, you can't. What's the deal here? What are you trying to say to me? I can or I can't, you know? It's like, what are you, you know, what is this for, right? Is that to display it somewhere else? Because what are they for, right? But anyway, I'll figure it out. So you can hang this on the wall, right? All right, which is pretty cool. I'd love to hang it on the door so when people come in, they can see it straight away. But, you know, it depends on, and I might do that today. And then put up some photos on the community post, right? And then you guys can see what it looks like when it's on the wall, right? Probably lower the, this is my cupboard, like the ones I just shove stuff into where I can't figure out where to put stuff. So on the door of that is like the cape of Superman. It's got my native Fijian real weapon, right? Wooden weapon, which is a club, kind of like a spear club, right? Full handle, and then it's got this. It's got a couple of artworks from my local friends, my close friends. So yeah, I love this figure. I just wish it, like, rather than teasing me with like 2 legs, just should have given me the other body as well. You know, that would be great. I think that's kind of a letdown in that sense. Oh, I forgot to put the arms away, by the way. Let's go find where I'm supposed to put the arms. Yep, and there is no way to put the arms but to just shove it in. And oh, that's the other thing. You could just shove the legs in there as well, you know. But let's see if this fits. Oh, and you got to really squish those to get them in. But it's all right because they're plastic, rubberish, you know, latexy rubber plastic, so they're easy to get in. But you know, yeah, I like it. Like I said, I don't really remember exactly what I paid for them, but for whatever I paid for them, I'm grateful. I like it. All right, the last one. Okay, man, look at that gun. Machine gun, man. So, Winter Soldier. Grab a drink. That took longer than I thought it would. So, okay, we're going to 2.5 hour mark. Winter Soldier, Civil War, Captain America. All right. So this is, as you can see, it's that dude there. Now, of course, I'm terrible with names, as you know. So let's go find out Captain America, Winter Soldier, who was in it, and then we can carry on. Who's the actor? Sebastian Stan, who played Bucky Barnes, Winter Soldier. So let's go, Bucky Barnes, Winter Soldier. Like I said, so as you can see, that's why it pops out. Nobody needs to put plastic there to hold it in space. Right, there you go. Cool as can be. but of course, you know, someone did put plastic on there to hold it in place. I don't mind, because I'm about the inside. So let's have a read of a bit about this. There's some interesting little bits of stuff in there. Look at what it looks like. Isn't that cool? Sebastian Stan looks really good in this figure. You know, it looks like him. Okay. So, Winter Soldier. Marvel's Captain America Winter Soldier finds Steve Rogers, aka Captain America, leading a newly formed team of Avengers and their continued efforts to safeguard humanity. Go, Steve! But after another incident involving his Avengers results in collateral damage, political pressure mounts to install a system of accountability headed by a governing body to oversee and direct the team. The new status quo fractures the Avengers, resulting in two camps, one led by Steve Rogers and his desire for the Avengers to remain free to defend humanity without government interference, and the other following Tony Stark, aka Iron Man, who has made a surprising decision to support government oversight accountability. This 7-inch, no 6-inch, yeah, tall. Yeah, so these are all, you know, so you've got 6-inch figures and you've got 7-inch, right? So these are all 7-inch. Scale select an action figure of the Winter Soldier is based on his appearance in Marvel's Captain America Civil War and features 6 points of articulation and a diorama base. Collect all 3 figures to extend the diorama. So all 3 they mean is this: Iron Man and Captain America. I've got enough Iron Man and I've got enough Captain America. I don't need that. But I think I've only got 1 Winter Soldier, so I'm keen on this. I forgot again. Nope. I was just thinking, I forgot again. It's better to make it open the other side, but it's not. Once again, ooh, you got little packets of stuff in this one, whereas none of those other ones have packets of stuff. So look at this. So this is a diorama there. I actually just bought a diorama on its own for about $10 in that sale I mentioned it, and the other, you know, the other toy. So what I'm, because I think having a diorama is pretty cool, because it just means you got something to display with in the background, and it looks really cool when you're displaying it and stuff. And so now you're probably thinking, what are these for, right? Well, that's what they mean by join it to the other 3 so you can display it, right, together as one piece. So right now, basically, you got a little plinthful mount, whatever platform, where you can put Clint onto. So this 16 points of articulation, I like this one because it's got, you know, like it's the actual Winter Soldier movie thing, right? Where it's got the bionic arm, robotic arm, whatever mechanism. You know, I just remembered like one of my characters I've just done for Robot Nation #2 issue about called the story in that, because Robot Nation is an anthology series, right, about robot centric, AI centric kind of thing, you know, futuristic sci-fi series, but kind of mature readers in the sense that it's probably PG, but there is some, you know, I put a mature readers because in the end I can put mature content in it without worrying about somebody picking up the other one would have nothing on it, and then another one and there's something in it. So I'm covering my butt, right? As I say, covering my back. So yeah, and that I love the whole idea of mechanized humans and stuff like that, you know, because, you know, I would like a left arm that would be like this, because my left side is, you know, has had you know, I had spine injuries and it damaged my left side more than my right side. So my left side has always been weaker, as you can see, right? Like thickness of the wrist, right? It's kind of like, I mean, you can't really see too much, but I can see it because I feel it when I'm lifting stuff. It's like weaker, and it's always, you know, it's not good when I'm, when I'm grasping stuff. I don't do it with my left hand because it's kind of falls out. The grip isn't as tight. But it's the only in I have because to carry stuff with, because my right hand I'm always using a cane. So so that's what I mean. So I would love to have a bionic arm, right, left arm, because that means that I have strength. But then again, to be honest, I'd rather have a bionic body. To be honest, I would love a bionic body, like upper body and lower body, but not the mid, not around the torso, right? But so these are really cool figures. So if you really, like they say, if you really want to display it and have a really cool looking set for this diorama, you need Iron Man, and you need the Captain America one for this one, because otherwise you've only got the one set. But I don't really need Captain America, Iron Man. I've got too many, to be honest. Like, I've got this freaking one just sitting here, Mark 1, and I've got a golden version of this Mark 1, right? So, but it's pretty cool setup. It'll be nice to see what it displayed on. So I'm gonna have a look at what others who have owned all three their display looks like, because that's kind of one of the things, right? If you're a toy collector, you want to see what it looks like if it's all set up. But for me, I don't mind. I don't have to have everything. That's something I've made a choice in my life. I'm like, I don't need everything, because then you just become a consumer, right? Buy. I just want what I want, and that's in a sense, it's like, so you're just fulfilling your I guess you're living within your limits. There's a thing. I saw an anime last night, and it's part of the Mushishi season 2. Mushishi. It's an animation about like I talked about it last night on the Kiwis and comic books thing. It's about spiritual entities, animals, and so creatures that are harmful towards that are benevolent, but they can be harmful if you mess with them. And so one of the guys gets told, don't whistle at night, right? And so he's excited to go home, and so he whistles at night, and these creatures basically start attacking a family member. And then he's like, I don't care, because this woman didn't treat me like a mother. And so he basically has a decision to make whether people in his family die and he becomes consumed of it and becomes a villain, or if he or if he just uses it for good, the skills he has, which is in the daytime forever instead of at night. And that's some of the choices we got to make whenever we're faced with any decision in life. It can be very simple to take the high road or take the low road. So with this one, like, because it's got this diorama, and it's and I don't know what the price point for these ones were. So you've got a set of fists, and you've got open hands, and then you've got this amazing gun. I like weapons. I've always loved weapons. I think you can either use them for for whatever, they're all created to be shoot, right? They're only one thing. You can use them for defense, or you can use them for tech. It's up to you. So and that all depends on the situation, right? Now, which is a better way to put them in, left hand or right hand? Right. So right hand is a better way to put them in. So you can see here, like they said, it's got like a 16 points of articulation. So let's get him in 60 point in a good position. So I'm going to move him in where he's holding the gun, so it doesn't fall out, because it's a bit loose in his arms, right? So it's better if it's like this. Isn't that cool? So it rests in his left hand, so it's holding it like that, and he's holding the with it. We can get his trigger finger into trigger. Would be cool. Yeah. So, and then also You can see the cartridge there resting on his arm as well. So now he's got a good position. So all you can do with this one is there's no peg holes, sadly, which is kind of suck, right? Like seriously, I mean, it doesn't take that much more effort to just put a friggin' peg hole there, right? So you can actually display these characters properly in the displays are supposed to be friggin' made for them, right? So you know, now he's just falling all over the place. But if you had the two tiny little pegs, he'll be sitting upright. But I like it, you know, they're great. But now I got to make a peg hole, right? Or glue it, which kind of ruins the whole point. If you have it set, you know, already made, you know, the guys who design all this stuff, it makes life for us who collect them easy, right? Don't have to worry about, oh no, this and that. You know, I know people like to display it, you know, some collectors like to display a certain way, and so it's pointless. It's like, but if you have a peg hole there, right, and it's displayed, it looks, you know, it's pretty cool, right? So otherwise, you know, if you just hit them in this position, and then, see what I mean? So if you hit it in this position, right, you could say that's your standard. And if anybody else can play it you know, put it anywhere else the way they want, in whatever position. But hey, you know, at least you got the opportunity, you know, there is that, what's it called? You know, at least there is that option. So one more, let's make it to 230. So, right. So yeah, I like this figure. I think it's pretty cool. So I got to go and like sellotape this to the base so I don't lose it. Because otherwise, you know, it's just with all the things, you know, with all the lack of space I've got, I'm going to end up losing it somewhere. So I am going, I think, let me just check. So there is this, I wanted to check some, before I opened this one, because there's someone, like I said, one of my nephews is coming home for Christmas, or maybe he's not, but his dad's coming, and I kind of want to be able to give him a figure, right? And I want to make sure that the same figure is also available for me to purchase again, so I can give him one. Well, sadly, I'm going to find something else, but I like this figure too much, because I have the red version, and I like to have I'll find something else. So I was thinking of giving the same figure I had, then I can say, hey, you know, we both have one, and when you play with your one, you know, you can see, you know, you can imagine me, you know, playing alongside you with my one. But now it's like they've lifted the price up to a bit more expensive. I bought this at like $17, which is kind of like half the price of that, and now they've dropped it back up to friggin', you know, that. But the other thing here is like it's going to cost another like $6 on top, so that's $40 again, right? So the problem, the reason I'm saying, you know, this kind of think is because, you know, it's I only bought it there because it was cheap, and I wanted to be able to just, then I can afford other stuff, right? That's the only reason I buy some of these things that way, because I can afford other stuff. So I am gonna have to find him something else, and maybe get him a Batman figure instead. And actually, that's what I'll do. I will get my nephew a Batman figure that he can, you know, play and have and, you know, enjoy as well. And I think, you know, it's just, you know, that way at least he knows that we both have the same figure. You know, I don't know if the kids are into that, but I think for me it'd be like, hey, my uncle has the same figure, and he gave me the same figure because he loves it as much. That's why he bought himself one, and now he you know, when I play with mine, he's probably playing with us as well. That's, you know, hopefully, or here's the other thing, because of social media and stuff, we can both hang out together, and or I can pull out my Batman figure and he can pull out his. And this is something I haven't done, and I think that's something I should do as a way of like connecting with my family a bit more, you know, with the young ones a bit more. And I think I should start, you know, thinking that way in the new year. I'm going to change my, you know, I'm thinking of changing a lot of things about myself in the new year, because I think I've been too overwhelmed in my own world because I've been busy with everything I do and not really, you know, being that more, you know, because I've become very insular. And I've noticed that about myself. So this is the figure here, you know, because I'm doing so many things, and so after a while it just becomes routine where you're always busy. So there is that in the black suit, and then you've got the card, and you've got the base. As you noticed, know that I don't usually open the you know, the cards out. I leave it in because all I want is the base, so I can display the figure, and that's all I care about. Now, so let's come and grab, you know, I'm going to go grab this out. You know, without destroying my headphone wire. Almost there. One more little bit. Gently does it. And there we go. And slice out. So that way, if I ever want to put it back in, I can put it back in, and away it goes. And I will, you know, I'll display that. I mean, you know, when I need to move these out again, I keep these boxes because I think the McFarlane boxes are worth keeping on to because the artwork on the back, and it's easier to think. So the steel bar comes off easy. It just pulls out. And so do the fist, and I'm going to leave the fist in this because the spare fist that is. There's no point bringing them out because, you know, it's really not. It's pointless bringing them out because at the end of the day, you know, there's an interesting thing here with this, with these ties and this, you know, with the using plastic ones. You can either just, you know, cut them out, or you can, like, if you have fiddly fingers, most of us older gentlemen don't have fiddly fingers. You know, you can just twist and turn these things together. Like what I mean is like here, right? You can like bend it and you can pull it out, but that's, you know, neither here nor there. Right, so let's get out our black Superman. Right, another black and in color, but black in the suit. Black suit Superman. Now, one of the guys, I think it was Alistair West. I can't remember if that was him, but one of the gentlemen on our New Zealand action figures private group page mentioned that these things are really annoying because the legs are so thin. They're hard, you know, they're top heavy basically, and so because of that, and it's a, you know, it's aesthetics, right? It's all about the aesthetics. Is that it? And I like the fact that's really, you know, it's like it really gets, you got to really push it in, which means that it's going to hold and stand really properly. It's fiddly, like it's kind of it doesn't sit well in a sense. But like once it's there, that's the best position for it there. But it kind of like it twists like that because the weight right on it, so it's top heavy. So you know it gets a bit fiddly to display. So what I you know, it is what it is at the end of the day, right? You know, you just got to be okay with it or not okay with it. You just got to decide how you want to think it, right? So let's display this a bit. So it stands, but it's moving, right? You see what I mean? It's like it stands, but you know, you got to make sure you got it really perfect because of the weight on it, right? However, now you got to put that there, right? How's that? And I can feel it already. It's wanting to fall backwards. It's wanting to come, but at the moment it's not. But it looks pretty cool, you know. Yeah, it's got a little vinyl smell to it. It's cool. I like that smell. I think it's the natural smell of toys, right? New toys, especially if it's made from vinyl or plastic. It's got this genuine, natural, you know, sensibility that comes with it. Like comics has that when you open the page, the ink, smell the ink on that paper, you know, brand new, just you know, it's all part and parcel of that, you know. So of course these are part of the, you know, I'm going to put them into the back of Electra so they're never lost. There you go. See, you told you it was eventually going to fall. But so there is that. So let's have a look at all these little pieces of information that are in these, you know, and we'll finish up on that. Right. So you've got this little clip that's going to join, you know, the clip, you know, this one and so on onto the next one, and now you've got 3 sets of figures. But the cool thing here is I'm just going to shove that into the back of this, and there you go. And I think I'm going to do that with any, you know, I think I should do that with, oh no, that should be fine. I think most of these ones are, so far we've got, oh, fine. Almost I thought like I threw out Superman. First parts, yeah, but I hadn't. So look at all this. All right, so there is some amazing, you can see, right, figures as part of all this, you know, tells you what else is available and so on. And then there's the Marvel mini mates and all that. You know, there's Black Panther. The Thor one, you know, I could give a take Thor, but there's Red Hulk. You know, there's this really cool one here with Goblin and Spider-Man. And like, you know, of course we had that great news about Spider-Man today. The Ditko family getting, you know, getting a percentage of it, which they deserve, right? You know, and so we've got there. The family of the creator deserves, you know, a portion of the earnings, because that's, you know, that's blood, sweat, and tears, as they say, put in by their family member into creating those figures. And it's good that those family members get access to that finances, right? Because at the end of the day, you know, all these people who are executives and, you know, get all the big bucks, it's on the back of all these creators, right? So there's, so, you know, like we're just talking about, like this. Ed, what was his name? Ed Brubaker. He got more for walking on, being an extra in the Winter Soldier movie as royalties than he did from Marvel for having his character in there. Because this version of the character, right? The Winter Soldier version of Bucky Barnes. And this is what I mean. None of these people really care about diversity, inclusivity, and equity. They just tell you they care. So if you're going to tell me that you care about equity, why didn't you pay Ed Brubaker, right? Equity. Remember? Equity. All these Marvel and DC people yelling about equity, DEI. They don't really care about equity. If they did, they would have paid Ed Brubaker what he was worth for creating this. And then Ed Brubaker wouldn't have said, I got more money from the studio by the director having me in the movie and getting 6K US, which is around about 11, maybe 9K New Zealand, right? For his extra than he got for creating the character that they have made probably $1 billion by now off. And he couldn't even get like a 1% of that. So don't tell me about DEI, right? That they always miss out the equity part they lie about. So where's the equity for Ed Brubaker? Right, so the cool characters, I love them. I do love this one here. I think it's one of the best one out of them, out of these Diamond Select, you know, or Marvel Select ones, and they're great. But like I said, I wish I had two figures instead of like a friggin' bottom half, right? And then like that, so I could have two figures rather than like a one without a top. So that's quite a bad sort of offering, you know, because what you're going to do now, you're going to run around hunting down the top part of it if there ever was one created. But like I said, I love this figure, great figure. So since I've got, since I have got Ray here from ReZero, right? Let's open that up. And I'm going to keep her in the box because afterwards, because it's just one of those things. It's like it deserves. I mean, I like to display it, and I got this last year as like you know, kind of like a refund due to money spent on stuff. So I haven't really opened it, and it's been an entire year, and I've had it sitting around. But let's have a look at her. Let's hope all the pieces are there because I haven't opened it right all this time. So she comes out like that. There's like all this box to hold it in place. Actually, I might actually display it and let's keep the box in a flat pack sort of situation. Yeah, I think I'll do that because she looks great. Ray's one of my favorite characters from ReZero. Look at that. She comes in 4 pieces, guys. Her tail is in this bunny sort of suit. So, in case you guys don't know who Ray is, let me just. Oh gosh, you've got so much stuff on this table. I probably need a bigger table, but I can't afford to because it'll take up too much room, and that's not what you know. I don't have room, as I mentioned. So, I'm gonna tell you, Ray. ReZero. Okay. So as I open this figure, as I display the statues, let's watch a bit of Fanatical Like a Demon. This is a clip from ReZero. So this is. Ram. What? No, it is Ray. Ram's the other one. Is it Ram? I thought it was Ray. Ram. I should read the freaking label. So who is it? The Ram.
知恵と勇気を振り絞ってどうにかしなさい。
どうにかできそうな方法は実は思い浮かんでるんだけど、きっとお前は怒るし。
それで妹が正気に戻るならラムに怒ったりしない。本当に本当に。
ロズッチに誓って。
そこを選ぶとはイメ知略。ええ、ロズワール様に誓って。
よし。ビビっちまった。あと一歩勇気が足りんかった。 こう逃せばもう先はない。笑えねえ。
Right. Yeah. So Rem. Right. Yeah. I kept saying Ray. Ray's the other one, right? So Rem. Right. Rem and Ray. Right. So this figure cost me about 60 bucks or something, New Zealand. So yeah, I think it was 60 or 70 bucks New Zealand. So, you know, and like I said, it was, you know, I didn't mind it so much because all I was saying, like, okay, I put down $100, so I got 2 figures out of it, and this was one of them, right? So I just guess I saved 20 bucks or something. Actually, I might keep them. No, actually, I'm gonna get plastic. So here's how the sets up. This is what I mean about pegs, right? I mean, this is cool in the sense, like, because these are just statues, they're not like, you know, figures you can move around and stuff, like articulation, as they say. So first, because this cool little stance, you know, like meow, you know, like kind of thing, you know. So let's see why. Yeah, you got to push it right down, so it's like, you know, it's in its place. So now it's not going to fall out, right? Having both those pegs in there. Now then you've got the tail, the bushy fox tail. Let's make sure it's in the right way, because there's a particular shape there. So you got to make sure it flips. There's like over here, there's like a cut in there. So it's got to slide. It's got to make sure it's in the right position so it goes all the way in properly. There you go. Now that's not going to come out, all right? So the last part is, you know, like I said, she's one of my favorite characters from ReZero, Life in Another World. Yeah, it's okay. Keeping with that whole Suicide Squad, you know, the Suicide Escape thing. So look at that. See how cool that is? You don't have to worry about, you know, it falling off. But yeah. So let's finish off today with the last of this bit. Rem. All right, let's get out of there and let's finish off here. And that's us for today. Didn't expect this to be this long. Apologies for not having Big Stew, but like I said, it is Friday night in America. It'll be a late night shopping event for our good friend. So what I want to do is I want to share. If you're over there in America, I want you guys to go hang out.
1.21 gigawatts. 1.21 gigawatts. That is the name of my store. It's also the amount of electricity needed for time travel. And that's how you're going to feel when you step into my store. You're going to feel like you step back into 1985. My store is all about the comics, toys, and nostalgia. If you have that nostalgia itch that needs to be scratched, come to my store. It's on 601 North Main Street, Borger, Texas. Again, I am 1.21 gigawatts, comics, toys, and nostalgia. The greatest toy and comic shop in a 50-mile radius in the great panhandle of this great state of Texas. 1.21 gigawatts.
There you go, guys. So, ka kite ano, and I want to really thank my friend Big Stew. I want to thank all our guests that have appeared on this show. You know, it's I won't say humbling because everybody says it, but like it's kind of cliche. But I do appreciate everybody I've met through, you know, this show, right? Because, you know, and all the other shows that we've done, all the interviews and all the people we've met, and you know, and I've been able to introduce to you, and that's been introduced to me through friends. You know, people that have approached me and said, "Hey, you should have this person on, this person on, this person on." and it's been great. I mean, like I think about like Niobe Comics, right, has been really great. Larry's been really awesome. Introduced me to Ben Dunn, and now I mean, a guy that that I own comics and figures from, right, Warrior Nun, and several others, and also like Tom Hutchinson, right, and guys whose graphic novel, right, I've enjoyed for a decade, right, and I was surprised to learn that the guy that I was interviewing was that guy who created that, without realizing that was that guy that created that. And the surprise, the genuineness that, like, and then I just feel like there's so much in the independent scene that everybody out here doesn't know about and that should know about. And so I've turned my focus this year, later half of this year, just thinking about the independent circuit, and I'm going to be the person who's going to help promote as much independent creators out there is. And that's the focus going into 2024 with all of the stuff that we do, all the podcasts that we make, we get everything that we do. We're going to focus on the independent creative scene. So if you are an independent creator, if you collect independent toys, figures and stuff, if you create them, send me a DM, email us here, right, and help us promote you, because as an independent creator myself, I know how difficult it is to get a word out there about yourself. So please get in touch with us and we'll help you. And also maybe network you with other people, get you in touch with them and that help you go further on what you're doing. So thank you, everybody. Have an amazing, amazing Christmas with your family. Have a good one. Have a relaxing one. Live at peace this time. Whatever you can do, if you can keep the word peace in the front of your head, how to be peaceable this week, this coming Christmas period with your families and friends. That should be your focus. Be at peace. How can I keep everybody at peace and have a good time? That is a good way to go into this holiday season, right, with family and stuff. And you don't have to be religious about it, or if you're not religious, but the focus should be how to be peaceful and have a peaceful time with family over dinner or lunch, whatever you're having. It's for us, it's one of my favorite times of the year because I get to hang out with my family and just really appreciate who they are and what they mean to me. It's something that I've focused on for the last couple of years. It's like once a month that I need to focus on my family. And with everything that I'm busy doing throughout the year, because I mean, seriously, I'm quite busy in the sense that there's only so many hours I can focus. Maximum 3 hours is all I can handle in a day because of my my health and stuff like that. But I'm grateful for everybody that's been in my life this year that has provided me with so much, especially Stu, my partner on this, my co-host. He's been great. It's great to bounce off other people doing these shows, because they're really special. They bring their own energy, they bring their own knowledge and history to what they're talking about, what we're discussing. So I'm grateful. So I'm looking forward for 2024, really focused on really helping the independent creatives out here and really, genuinely, in that moment. And because, I can't, you can't, I've decided not to have my feet out there and then feet over here. I want to have my feet over here. Right. So as we create our comic books, please go check them out. I'm going to finish off here with this last, the special price comic that we've got for our Robot Nation #1. Right. I want you guys to go check it out because it's $2.99. You will not be disappointed. US $2.99. It's about $5 and so on. Right. So please check it out. Leave me a comment, right? Like, I forget to ask, please leave me a comment, leave me a like, and whatever you I appreciate whatever you guys say and whatever you ask and whatever you talk about. Let me know if there's some particular toy you want me to talk about. I'll look into it. I'll get, in the new year, and we'll look at what we can, how we go about discussing it. And if you want to come on our show, you're welcome. If you got, as long as it's got to do with toys, as long as you're collecting toys, you're designing toys, whatever. If you're doing that stuff and you want to come on and promote your channel, I'm happy for that, because I'm all about independent, right? So if you're independent podcast or whatever, dealing with toys, this is a show that you want to be on, that you're welcome on, I should say. And myself and Big Stu, we're happy to have you come on and talk about your what you collect, right? Like I said, I go from collecting cutesy anime figures to collecting, Marvel and DC, to collect, all sorts of stuff. So in front of me, I've got stuff from, Dungeons and Dragons, all this other stuff, right? It's just what it is. And so I don't have any particular, thing. As long as it interests me, I'm here collecting what I want, right? And so if you're out there doing the same similar thing, please send us an email for 2024, setting up schedule, calendar and everything for each different shows, because that way it allows us to talk to people about different things. And if you want to be interviewed, hit me up, man. Like I don't want to bore people with my own voice, my own opinions, right? As much as it's there, it is just a side to what we're doing here. We want to promote independent creators out there. If you have a small channel, doesn't matter. If you're a big channel, doesn't matter. Or medium size, whatever. As long as on this show, it's about toys. So if you're podcasting as a toy collector, and I know there's way better podcasters when deal with toys than I am. Way better, 1,000,000% better, right? But it's just our love for the thing, and so we want to bring what we do here. Big Stu and I. He's a shop owner. I used to be a shop owner, so we know what it's like about those things. We also know, about fandom and how much we love what we love, and so we want to, help promote you, right? Because at the end of the day, it's just growing as our love for it and sharing that love. So have a great Christmas. Enjoy your time with your family. Like I said, keep at the front of your head, right? Peace. Be at peace with your family this year. And that way you'll enjoy so much and you'll have fun. Don't try to get into some argument about this and that movie or that thing or that thing. Have fun. Just put all that aside, whatever is going on in the world aside, and just sit down and have a beer, have a wine, whatever, juice, with your family, and enjoy yourself over barbecue or roast, whatever. And because it's one time of the year where people should put aside the world and just be with the family and their mindsets. Like, I'm here in this moment. Put away your digital phones and all that stuff, items, but hang out. Have a good year. Next at the start, as you go and finish off this year properly, and say goodbye 2023 and welcome 2024. Ka kite anō. Love you all. I appreciate all you guys do for us here and following and sharing and everything. I don't ask enough times to just share and but I would love that for you guys to help us build our channel. So thank you. Appreciate that, and all the best, guys.